Welcome back into the Sports Source, the segment of our program brought to you by A.G. Hines Company. I'm so happy to have this group join us. Folks, this is a family-owned business for 4 generations. You know how good you got to be to last 4 generations, 100 years? From 1920 to 2019 so far, construction companies have bought their building materials for decades. They're right in downtown Knoxville. You can too. And they've got the experience to tell you how to use every bit of it. aghines.com to learn more. Give them a call. I look forward to telling you about these guys for years and years to come. All right. This is our players only meeting. You got to have a moderator in here, so I didn't. We'll get you guys to take us inside the Tennessee locker room. And I'm not looking for platitudes here, Sterling. Seriously, if you were on that team, take yourself out of the freshmen. Let's say you're a veteran. What are you doing? Because my thought is you're going to lose the freshmen. Yeah. Somebody's got to get those guys together. I don't know, are they losing any faith in their coaches at this point? You lose to Georgia State, wouldn't you have some doubts? So my question is, what are you doing as veterans on this team to fix this?
Well, that's the problem is do you have a guy that's going to be stepping up? I mean, the problem I see right now, and I was thinking about it more and more as we did this show, and it was, one, everybody on that team seemed to be waiting for somebody else to make the play. And that's a problem. You're not willing to make the play. You're just hoping somebody else saves you. The other problem is this. The body language said, oh, this is this again. We're going to lose. This used to be what we used to play Vanderbilt. They'd stay close, then something would go against them, and you'd start seeing the body language go, here we go again, we're going to get beat. That was Tennessee yesterday. They were in that mode. How you get out of that mode? Somebody's got to take control. Somebody's got to become a leader and get out of that mode. The other thing is, on defense, the playing over to the whistle stops. How many times guys slowed up, chopped their steps, and were not in on a tackle, and a guy broke the tackle and made a big first down because of that? You got to set the tone in practice, and if you see that and you're a guy on your team, you go after him right then and don't let that happen.
Ellington's a good little quarterback. They made him look a lot better than he was. Yep. The number of missed tackles yesterday made him look even better than he is. Your thoughts on what do you do? I mean, there's no Al Wilson over there that we know of. And there's certainly, here's another thing you're dealing with. And I don't want to be too negative because losing teams turn around. They become winning teams. So you don't have to have somebody that's a proven veteran. But I'm throwing it out there. You don't have anybody over there who's ever won a thing. So who are you turning to trust over there? What are you doing, guys, in the locker room?
The thing that I think about is, wasn't it last year when someone asked Jeremy Pruitt the question of, are you going to be a player-coach-led team or a coach-coach-led team? And what did he say? He said, we're going to be the coaches are going to do the leading around here.
Then he changed it mid-season. Yeah, he changed that eventually and said he wants to have a player-led team, but he was going to be a coach-led team.
And so I look at that and you say, well, what are the players going to do to save the season? When you're these players right now, you're questioning your effort, you're questioning how hard you played, you're going to blame yourself for not being prepared and things like that, and you're going to try to go out there and fix those things. And like looking at them, I can't imagine that those 3 things are going to fix it because the players seem to be ready to play. They just didn't look like they had the tools in the toolbox.
Well, my opinion is simple. And this is not cliche. It's just the way I feel whenever I've had a learning experience on the field. You're never as bad as your worst game. You're never as good as your best game. And now you teach and you preach. Forget what happened. It's all about the next play. Now it's time to see how short of a memory you really have. And you know what you need to do. Now do it, because if you know what you need to do and you do it, you really don't know now how good you can be. So, use this as a learning experience and then put your best effort forward and make it happen to get the W on Saturday.
Okay, here's what I'm going to put it to you. I'm now going to transport you and put you in that locker room. All right? Okay. Imagine you are a player on that team.
Absolutely.
And it's Sunday morning, and you just came off of that, and you're looking around at each other. There's no coaches in the room. Now, also, we may be 90 minutes, but we still have ratings, so you can't watch your language. But in terms of you're never as bad as your worst game, that is correct. But there's carryover here. Are you as bad as your last 2 games last year? This is 3 games in a row. You've sucked. You're looking around. What are you going to say? Is it cheerleader stuff? Are you going to get in somebody's grill for not doing their job? What are you doing?
Gut check. Gut check, period. The past is the past. We got to look to the future. The game's got to be played. Now we got to put our best foot forward. It's gut check time. Who are we? Who are you? What are you doing for this team? Because there's no I in team, but you are definitely a part of this team. And we can't win without you. This is a team sport. Gut check time. Everybody that's putting on that power team, gut check.
Well, the other thing you're doing is saying who doesn't need to be on this team. And if we keep seeing this from you, we're going to run you off. And that's what you got to also be thinking about, because as a group, you set the standard and say gut check time, but whoever doesn't step up to the plate, you make it your mission to get rid of them. And you make it your mission to say this guy doesn't deserve to be here because they're not going to play this way. And we don't need more bad influences to take other guys down. It is horrible. You know, what a bad influence can do is a lot more destructive than what a good influence can do and pull guys over across the board. So if you find that and that's there, you got to run them off.
Daniel, you experienced 3 different coaching staffs at UT. You
And
had
a
more
lot of
losses.
these
A lot more losses than wins. What do you, when you hear all this, you've been through it, you've seen it. How are you not Mr. Pessimism at this time? Or are you?
Well, it's this thing is I think about the guys, and I remember those training room days where you're trying to and getting the massages and things like that. And I don't remember having the rah-rah talks or anything like that. It's almost that nervous laughter. Like, oh man, we gotta just get this off and try to get it away. And because you have the doubt that's setting in your mind that you don't want to admit that's there. And then it's like, well, either I suck or the coaches suck. And because of what your coach is saying in public and because of everything else, you're taking all the blame and you're putting it on yourself. And so you are getting down, you are saying, man, we just got to do this. And then it just starts weighing on you more and more. And it's just tough to overcome that.
See, I think this is a fascinating segment because you and I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago at Blue Smoke Cigar about the teams that you were on, the attitude you had. Somebody's coming in, 5-star guy. Are you worried about him? Hell no. He's not taking my spot. You played in a time when you guys there was so much NFL talent there, it was unreal. And you listen to a guy who played 20 years later or 10 years later. It wasn't there. He's talking about how they had doubts, nervous laughter. And I'm just thinking, can you imagine that in your locker room or your locker room? And I'm not knocking you.
Yeah.
I'm saying that is what losing does, and I don't know how you break it.
This is how you break it. Get back to work, man. And there's no better salvage than getting back to work, getting back to practice. And that's the best remedy. That is your aspirin.
But it's how you work and how you
absolutely.
think. And they're not mentally tough right now. What they're caught in a spin cycle is just what I said about Vanderbilt. They're caught in a position where they're waiting to lose and not waiting to win or finding a way to win. And that has to be broken. And that starts here. That starts here, and somebody's got to come through and say, that's what we're going to be.
30 seconds to Daniel.
The
We're going
thing
to
I
go.
see on that is that the kids haven't changed from either of our 80s, 90s, or where we're at now. And so it starts with your coaches. Your coaches have got to inspire confidence. You got to put things out there to do it. Pruitt ignored his players last year. He's been the first one to say it this year. And after the first game of Georgia State, we got to get more talent. Competition really doesn't create too much of anything of what he's wanting. All it does is that he's learning skill that he's passing on to me, and now the skills that I've learned I can pass on to this guy. That's what competition does, is it gives us all more skills.
I asked this question last year, and I didn't think I'd be asking after Georgia State, and there's no time to answer, but I will say this. If you tell me, as he said last year, and it bugged me by the time you got to the end of the year, why are we paying you so much? Why are you making $4 million if all you talk about is, well, I can't, he made the comment after the Vanderbilt game, well, when I was at Alabama, I beat them. Hey, look, if I were at Alabama, I'd beat Vanderbilt. If I were at Alabama, I'd beat Vanderbilt with that talent. At some point, yeah, you want a coach who can get the talent, no question. But I'd also like a coach who can take my mediocre talent and coach it up, at least up enough to beat Georgia State. I'll just leave it at that. When we come back, we've got another group where we're going to roll through, and it's quick slants or something. Everybody gets the sound off. You can rebut anything you disagree with. We got so much time I've lost track. Come on back.